Have I died? Is this real life? We are free, troops. We are free. Steak is back on the menu. Oh man, I needed that. Oh Christ. Hello everyone, this is SageAndOvo992 and today we're back from the brand new video. And this is going to be the second time you've seen me tonight after making a 35-minute video just a couple hours ago in which I pretty much sat in front of you and begged and pleaded for this football club to grow up, be an adult, drop the ego and make the decision that was badly needed for this football club. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege and it's my joy to say the decision has finally been made. Is it late? Is it weeks? Is it results? Is it games after when it should have been? Absolutely. But the main factor is the decision has finally been made and Russell Martin is gone. And this is such a weird place for me to be in, right? Because unfortunately, this isn't my first ring around the rosy. You know what I mean? I've been here before. You know what I mean? With the sacking manager, hiring manager, sacking manager, hiring manager. I almost feel like Sisyphus with Greek mythology, pushing that rock up the hill. Be like, oh God, the fit was dreadful. God, the tip was down. Then I get to the top and they announce a new manager and I'm so excited. But then out of nowhere, I'm at the back and down at the bottom in the mountain, and he pushed that rock back up. I'm like, was I not just here? Like a minute ago? That's the unfortunate cycle we went ahead and been on for far too long. But again, this one feels a wee bit different. It really does. And I think it's with the way that it unfolded and the way that it pushed me away. Because truthfully, I've seen managers come to go. I've seen managers sacked for this football club. But I've not had this explosion of emotion that I had when I heard that Russell Kenneth Alexander, manager, was finally removed from his position. And honestly, put out his misery. And I think that's where I want to start, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because nothing I say and nothing I've ever said is ever personal to the man himself, you know what I mean? Let's draw a wee line, you know what I mean? Remember how the football club basically created a division and feeded into that and caused me a divide and caused the split and almost made a us versus them motif with doubling down on their mistake of Russell Martin. I would like to create a divide in today's video and create a wee line, and some of it's going to be personal and then some of it is then going to be from the business point of view, which is obviously Rangers Football Club, and truthfully that's the thing that matters most of all to all of us, I imagine, it's watching today's video. Wish you're a rival fan or not, it's usually Rangers or no show for a lot of people. But talking about from the personal point of view for just a very brief moment, is it ever nice to see someone lose their job or more importantly go ahead and fail at something they've tried? No, troops, obviously it's no. And the glee that I've got and the happiness I've got Disney sit with the personal side, because truthfully I didn't hate the actual guy itself, because there's not an ounce of me that ever thinks this man came here trying to fail or trying to sabotage the club or oh he's meant to, oh he's sinking us. I imagine Russell Martin gave us absolutely everything that he had, and I imagine there's been an itch in that laddie over the last 5-6 years since he was here and failed as a player that knew when he went and branched into management there's always been a thing in the back of his head, let's see if I can go ahead and right the wrong of my playing career, you know what I mean? He's also touched on that type of mentality and motivation in previous interviews regarding this football club. So I imagine the fact that he's came here and failed will hurt this man, right? And that's again no nice to see, but at the exact same time there has to be that line, because what actually matters is the football club, and football is very cutthroat. It's a very difficult business, and again management is even harder, because if you're no winning you're in big trouble. And Russell Martin, the head coach of Rangers, was in a big trouble because he couldn't win a game of football. He couldn't implement none, he couldn't build none, he couldn't get this team moving forward. But when you slap everything together and take a step back and you look at it, was he ever really going to be able to do that? Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think so. And let's go ahead and look into that then, shall we? Right, Russell Kenneth Alexander Martin leaves this football club with a winning percentage of 29.4%. 29.4. That is as bad as it actually sounds. To give it some context and show you how bad it actually is, Michael frickin' Beale, who got chased out this football club having failed to win the big games and wasted a hell of a lot of money on absolute dross as well, by the way. That's unfortunate company Martin still sits with, but where they can't sit next to each other is they're all winning percentage, because Michael Beale had a winning percentage of 72% And if he was a failure at 72, what the hell does that make Russell Martin with 29? Well, I'll tell you what it makes it pretty much what Russell Martin's been his entire managerial career. A below average manager who very rarely wins games of football consistently enough to actually go ahead and win things. That's the honest truth, because there will be people that try to twist what's happened at Rangers Football Club and the colossal failure, because it's all PR, it's all about spin, and by God, this guy and this team could spin some things, and I imagine it will be the fans' fault. Oh, they never bought to him at all, they were always booing us, they never gave us a chance, and all that is absolute smoke and mirrors to try and get another job. If you've been paying attention to Russell Martin's managerial career, this has followed the exact same suit, and let's dive into that and prove it wasn't the fans' fault. The fans no buying into him or that, right? 29.4% win rate at Rangers. You look at his time at MK Dons, it was 39% win rate. You look at his time at Swansea, it was a big old 37. Well, I imagine most people will be waiting for the next moment, because we go to Southampton when he had his magnum opus, when he had his system, his style of play. The players had a year, the players had time, everybody was up to date and knew exactly what Timo Guardiola wanted from his team. Well, his winning percentage when he had everything his way was 47%, ladies and gentlemen. So even when he was given time, and even when he was given the opportunity, yes, it's obviously tougher playing a wee short stint in the Premier League, but still, that shows you on paper, the numbers are all here, that this man has never been a winning manager in his career. So it's no the fans' fault, it's none of this malarkey. We've hired a manager who very rarely wins games over his entire career, which, if you chuck everything together, sits at a win rate around 38%. Does a 38% win rate of a manager strike you as the type of guy that should be in the dugout at Rangers and help and nurture and inspire players to go ahead and win things, ladies and gentlemen? Nah, it really doesn't. So the question needs to be is, why the hell did we take the ridiculous gamble and waste money, waste time, and waste the good faith and optimism that was there from the takeover with such a mad, clearest example of a risk you will ever take? And that's where my frustrations move away from Russell Martin. And it's no why it isn't personal, because Martin is what he is. So am I going to sit here and go absolutely crazy and be like, oh, I can't believe he never done it? No, he's never done it, ladies and gentlemen. So moving away from Martin, now Martin's been removed, this frustration, this spotlight that's been shined on the head coach now needs to turn and aim directly at those that went ahead and took this gamble and went ahead and ignored all the evidence and ignored what is actually required at this football club, and start asking them some questions now and hold them responsible, because this has played out the way it was always going to play out. And the question needs to be, do we trust them to go ahead and make the next decision and pick the next manager? That's the big conversation we need to have now. Are we got the trust in those that are in charge to go ahead and make the next decision, and not make an easy decision for them or a quick, cheaper friend act FC, because they've already shown they'll hire their pals and they'll hire their old work colleagues and they'll even hire family members. So is there no a bit of a worry, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, Russell Martin has been gone, one of the snakes off the Hydra has been cut, but we're not sure that another one's just going to load back up, we're going to be glancing back at Hercules and be like, what the hell am I facing now? And that's where all the spotlight needs to go again on those in charge, because they must get someone in the position with an ounce of winning in his career. Either he's won things, or he's led a team to something, or he's got something about him that shows a pedigree of winning. I didn't want Friends Act, I didn't want any of that. We need somebody that's going to be able to handle and explain and inspire these young players and show, I've done it before, I can take you with that, trust me, I can put you in the right position. That respect must be grabbed right away, and it can be grabbed with the right appointment. But again, it's very, very scary to be sitting here glancing at the ones that's already made that crazy gamble and expect them to do the right thing the second time. Again, I'm certainly hope they get it right, because again, you can take a gamble, you can take a risk, and it can backfire, as it has done massively. but you can't go ahead and do it again, or it's curtains for them as well. I'm looking at the sporting director, I'm looking at Patrick Stewart. This must be right now, and I think the next guy in the managerial dugout, I know there's names flying about already, you know what I mean, this guy, we'll talk about it right here on the channel over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, I imagine, but all I want to see is someone with an ounce of experience in winning, son, that can help this club, you guessed it, get back to winning, son. That'd be nice. So aye, that's honestly how I feel, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else to say. I'm delighted that Russell Martin is gone. I feel like it's the betterment for this football club, and I feel like this club is better off without him in charge and his coaching staff, because I'd seen enough of the set pieces line up and the crazy antics. Clear the decks right there. As I said in the earlier video, drain the swamp and go ahead and move this club forward. Very, very excited to see what comes in next. But again, there is that fear that it'll be the easy choice, or it'll be a former colleague, or it'll be my friend at FC. I want the people that genuinely own this football club, the guys that want to be in the background and don't say too much. I want them to pay attention to what's happening in this football club and how the people they have trusted to run it are currently running it. Because again, all they're doing is running it into the ground. Martin's been sacked, aye, but let's have a look around and see what else is happening. The inmates are running the asylum. Let's go ahead and tidy this mess up. It started with Martin. Let's continue right there and just get the right person in. But aye, that's me done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. Are you happy? Are you mad? Are you sad? Or are you glad? Do you feel like Martin should have been given more time? Again, you can let me know down in the comment section below. I maybe went too long-winded and ranty why I feel like it should be, but again, it's not just about my opinion, it's about the conversation. Do you believe Martin could have turned around if he was given more time? It'd be interesting to see if you feel that way. So I'll wait to see your comments down there if you're happy or you're mad. But until then, I've been CJ92. Shout out the legends that are signed up to the channel Legend membership. This is a much better video for you guys' name to be on, of course. The guys that are subscribing to the channel and supporting this channel as well, thank you so much. We are closing in on 69,000 subscribers now, which is terrifying. The ultimate dream would get a manager in place that can actually win things, get this team back to where we want to see, you know what I mean, this club back to that level, and maybe even reaching 70k as we go ahead and win some things. That would be very, very nice. But we'll wait and see with that. Let's not go too high too early till we see what's selected. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. All the best and bye bye.